Let us talk about the problem set given to you, which are about the Avogadro number and mole. Let us first review the meaning of Avogadro number, that this is the number of units in 1 mole of any substance, defined as its molecular weight in grams, equal. Okay, so the Avogadro number is equal to 6.022 times 10 to the 23 units. The units may be electrons, atoms, ions, or molecules, depending on the nature of the substance and the character of the reaction. Let us proceed. Okay, so again, 1 mole in chemistry is a standard scientific unit for measuring large quantities of very small entities such as atoms, molecules, or other specified particles. Okay, the mole designates an extremely large number of units, 6.022 times 10 to the 23 units. So if your substance is a compound, then its units are molecules. So if we are talking of the number of molecules per mole of compounds, ito yung 6.02 times 10 to the 23 molecules per mole of compound. Or another way of saying it is 1 mole of a compound contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23 molecules. And if your material or if your substance is an element, it also contains the Avogadro number of units. Your units will be atoms. If it is an element, your units are atoms. If it is a compound, your units are molecules. Proceed tayo sa next page. Are your questions? Okay. Let us consider the first question, which is how many moles of magnesium is in 3.01 times 10 to the 22 atoms of magnesium. Meaning, you need to convert this value 3.001 times 10 to the 23 atoms to moles. Okay, 3.01 times 10 to the 22 atoms of magnesium should be converted to moles. Again, you have to think of a factor that should get rid of atoms and will convert it to mole. Dalawa ang ating pwedeng factor. Yan, 6.02 times 10 to the 23 atoms per mole or 1 mole per 6.02 times 10 to the 23 atoms. Pareho lang yan sila. Pinagbaliktad ko lang. Okay. Now, again, these are your factors. You need to choose one factor that should cancel out or that should remove atoms and leave behind mole. Dapat yung ating factor should contain atoms in the denominator so that when you multiply it with the given, it will get rid of the atom units like this one. Okay, this is the given. You need to multiply this with something that should get rid of atom. Yan. So I chose which factor? Ito. So that the atoms in the numerator will cancel out with the atoms in the denominator at ang maiiwan yung mole. Together, this is going to be your answer. Okay, next page or next number. So in the next number, what was given? the given is 4 moles of glucose to be converted to molecules. So again, these are your factors and this. This time, you need to get rid of mole and leave behind molecules. Think of a factor that contains mole in the denominator so that ang maiiwan is molecules. So anong factor yon between the two? Ito. Together, the given times the factor. The given is mole. Your factor contains mole, mole numerator, and then mole in the denominator. Mag-cancel out sila. Maiiwan yung molecules. So this is going to be your answer. Next number. The given is 1.2 times 10 to the 25 atoms of phosphorus to be converted to moles. It says, how many moles are in 1.20 times 10 to the 25 atoms of phosphorus? Again, the factors, dalawa. So atoms ito, we want to get rid of atoms so that it will leave behind mole. So yung atom should be in the denominator. So ito ang piliin nating factor. Times the factor, atoms will cancel out. Ang maiiwan yung mole. And this is going to be your answer. Next page. How many atoms are in 0.400 mole of N2O5? Okay, take note. N2O5 is a compound. It is composed of two elements, nitrogen and oxygen. It is a compound. Ano nga alam natin? If it is a compound, the units are molecules instead of atoms. Pero ang nakalagay sa iyong problem is atom. Baka dapat molecules yun. Okay, so again, the factors. Dapat ang factor na pipiliin natin is one that contains mole in the denominator. So together, the given times the factor, mole will cancel out ang maiiwan molecules. That is the answer. Next number. How many atoms are in 0.340 mole of sodium? So mole to be converted to atom. The factor that we should choose should contain mole in the denominator. So this is the one. And the mole units will cancel out. Ito, magka-cancel with this. Ang maiiwan, atoms. Kasi yun yung ating hinahanap. So this is going to be your answer. Now, tingnan natin ang iyong answer. It looks like this part and this part are not correct.